Hi there, Louisa here. Today I wanted to talk about how powerful your thoughts actually can be and how your brain screens off things that you don't want to see and enhances things that you do want to see. It was about 10 years ago I saw a documentary with my husband, and it was all about what your brain can do and things. And there was this exercise that they set out for us. And in it, it had a bucket at the front of the camera. You saw the whole bucket, and two people who had red and blue balls. And the narrator asked us to count how many red balls ended up in the bucket. And so these people started throwing the balls in the bucket, and some were missing, some were going in, some were bouncing back out again. So you were counting them and then uncounting them, and we were really intent on me and my husband were sort of trying to count how many balls went in. And at the end, the narrator said, "So how many were there?" And I was like 12, and my husband was like 13. And then the narrator said, "Did anyone notice the pilot walk behind the two people who were throwing the balls?" And we looked at each other and we were like, "No, there's no pilot." There was absolutely not. It was in a studio, it had a white background, there was nothing there. And then they played exactly the same scene again, except this time we were looking out for the pilot. And there he was. He walks along behind these people in full pilot black uniform, stripes, hat and all. And he walks behind the people, pauses, looks at us and carries on. And we were like, well, obviously they just edited him in. Why would you trick us like that? It's disgusting. So we rewound the telly to the point of the first one that we actually saw counting the balls going in, and there he was. And it was so unsettling. It's haunting that he was there in full uniform, hat, the lot, and we did not see him because our brains were told to look for the balls. We were so focused on what the intent was that we did not see this person. And I know that if I tell my husband now, it was about 10 years ago, if I tell my husband now, he'd be like, "Yeah, I remember that." If you've seen it, I know you'd remember it. So it's really interesting that we miss so much if we're not looking for it. I remember Darren Brown, he did a show all about this guy who thought he was so unlucky, and they actually put a £50 note right on the floor where he walks, and he walked straight past it, and because his brain was so focused on being unlucky, he didn't even see this big note of money on the floor. He just steps over it and carries on because his brain was screening it off. So what are we screening out? If you're driving these self-limiting beliefs into your mind all the time, you're going to be missing so many opportunities and so many things that are coming your way. Your brain will be just screening them off because you don't believe in that. Those things don't happen to you, and you won't see it. The other thing about your brain that's very interesting is if you tell it what is important, that's all you'll see. It's like when you're researching what breed of dog you want next, or what kind of car you want next. You're looking up the cars and you decide Mercedes, I'd like one of those. And then you keep going and go convertible Mercedes, that would be nice, in blue. And so all of a sudden you've told your brain you want a blue convertible Mercedes, and all of a sudden that's all you see. When you're driving along the road, there'll be one that goes round the roundabout and stops you from going. You'll see them in the distance. They'll be pulling out there. All of a sudden you're like, "God, they're common as muck. They're everywhere." Same goes for me. I've been looking at dogs and I love a husky. But oh my gosh, they're everywhere now. It's called your reticular cortex. It's if you've told your brain, that bit of your brain goes to work. The reticular cortex goes, right, that's important. Huskies, convertibles, they're important. And you will see them everywhere. So if you start telling your brain what is important to you, you want a certain amount of money to come in, you want your kid to go to a great school, all these things will start coming into your mind, and you will start seeing opportunities around you. So to be aware of this is so important, to stop screening off things that might be coming your way. You don't know they're there because your brain's screening them off. and then to tell your reticular cortex what is important, and then your brain will start highlighting all these things, and all these opportunities will start coming your way, and you'll be a lot more lucky. Just something to be aware of, how powerful our brains are, and it all starts with your thoughts or your beliefs, and what manifests in your life all stems from how you think. So it's so easy to change, because if you can change what your thoughts are, which are, you can change at any moment, you can start to change your whole life. And it's real and it's true, because I've seen it all happen. So comment below, I want to see what your thoughts are, and if you've seen that documentary, tell me what it was, because I really would love to see it again. I'll see you soon in the next one. Take care.